Welcome to Envisioned Broadcasting, the station designed to encourage, equip, and empower you for growth and success. Presents Women Emerge with Mellisa Lambert, a show that shines a light on spiritual growth, health, purpose, and financial education. It's time to emerge and begin to live out your dreams, walk into your destiny, while making a difference in the lives of many.
Welcome to Women Emerge with Mellisa Lambert. I am your host, and it's always an honor and a privilege to come before you another Thursday. Happy Thursday, everyone. This podcast, we're going to really explore today. We're going to hear the journey of a great woman. She has been doing some phenomenal work within her community at large in the past, the present, and I guarantee she is going to do some greater works in her future. I'm your host, Mellisa Lambert, as mentioned, and this show, we normally bring you some different people that will come on to share their journey and their stories through their personal and professional growth, giving you knowledgeable tips and lesson learned that will empower you to grow. Today, I have the honor to have one of our special guests. The last few podcasts you've had and heard of some great leaders that came aboard and share. And this young lady is just one of those women that I know it's great to hear from. She is receiving her Honorary Doctorate in Humanitarianism in a few days. She is none other than soon-to-be Dr. Monica Williams. We're going to hear her journey that allows her to now be at this place where she's receiving her honorary doctorate. So please welcome back to the show, Monica Williams, soon to be walking across the stage on June the 14th as Dr. Monica Williams, H.C. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are truly welcome, and congratulations on this remarkable journey that is really coming very soon for us, and I'm just excited for what's to come for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we're going to dive right in. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions so our audience can get to know you. You can share your journey and your story through this process. So let me just go right into the conversation. What does receiving this honorary doctorate in humanitarianism mean to you personally, but also professionally?
So the thing, first of all, it's an honor. Like I'm speechless every time I even think about it. It's definitely breathtaking. But being awarded an honorary doctorate is an exceptional achievement that I personally do not take lightly, and I definitely don't take it for granted. This degree is an honor that I didn't feel deserving of because I absolutely love what I do in the field of women's empowerment, and I see it as a calling and gift. So being awarded this high honor puts a stamp of approval on the work that I've been doing for over 25 years. I'm personally honored to have been nominated to receive this award. You know, when you are doing what you are passionate about and you know it's your gift, like to me, that is the highest honor. However, I am very, very grateful to be accepting this honorary doctorate.
Wow. And I remember when I brought this to your attention, and I was like, you know what, Monica, I would love to put you up as one of the nominees. And you was like, what? Really?
Right.
And it brought you to a place where you were just like, again, like you said, questioning the abilities. Do I, should I have this type of award? Like, why? And I even want you to even share that, because in that moment, you even question the ability of saying, I deserve this honorary doctorate. What made you even question yourself to even thinking that you don't deserve this form of award?
Well, number one, comparison. You know, we go through life comparing our works against other people's works. And we think that if we see it look a certain way and ours do not seem to be looking that way, we tend to think that we're not doing enough. Or, if someone wants to, even at a job, if you feel like, you want to be promoted, sometimes you question it, like, what did I do to deserve to be promoted, to this level? And I think anytime you show up for someone other than yourself and you put forth your best work, your best effort, and you give of your time and you give of your talent and you give of your gifts, and when you do that, that is so deserving. And other people, and you're changing the lives of other people, that is deserving enough. But for me, I thought it had to look a certain way. Like what I was doing was what I've been called to do. So I didn't see it as, being nominated to receive such a high honor. It was like, oh, this is just what I do. And people who get honorary doctorates, of course, I saw those people on TV. These were superstars, and these are people that's donating millions of dollars, and doing things that I'm like, I have not done. So it was more comparison, comparing myself to the works of others.
Wow, wow. And we all do that. And it's not something that is not the norm. It's something that is the norm for many of us, the comparison and making ourselves feel like we're not worthy enough to carry such a title, especially when you hear the word honorary. People like, I remember someone saying to me this past week, no, last week, I should say, they said, oh, yeah, what was the statement? Let me just pick it up, because when they said it, I said, excuse me. And I have to correct people when they say this, because yes, some people do. I'm going to get my doctorate as an academic, but people don't look at the honorary doctorate as something to behold, right? And when the person said, they say honorary is awarded, doctor is a merit, and I'm like, but if I've done the work, that is my merit. And that's what society look at it like. Well, you have to go to school, which I am going to school for that, right? And a lot of people not saying anything for those who have gone to school. But even when you go to school, guess what's going to happen, Monica? They're going to come out and going to go ahead and do the work, while we have done the work for how many years, but never never received the accolades and the rewards, which we're not looking to get. We're just saying we're doing the work because this is our purpose. This is how we serve humanity, right? And so I look at it, yes, it's not a merit for academics. However, I've done the work. You have done the work. So I commend you for the work that has been done. So can you share, Monica, some of the impactful work you have done that led to the incredible recognition that you're going after June the 14th?
Ooh, so without even knowing it, I have been the face of change and the voice of power for many, many years to thousands of women from various walks of life. And again, this is without even knowing it, just showing up and just doing the work, And I have given countless women permission to live in their truth and be honest about who they really are. I have provided a safe space in place for women to express themselves in ways they have never before. I have spoken at women's events on trauma, which is my specialty. Like that is the highlight of what I speak on, what I speak about, because of my experience of having trauma myself. I've had women's book clubs, women's organizations and groups that focus on healing from trauma and everything that has occurred in the lives of women that have impacted them negatively in any way. I have I Am That Monica community where I empower, motivate, inspire, and uplift women to do the work that is necessary to heal the deep wounds of the past. Because as women, we don't even realize why we do the things we do, why we act the way we do, why we talk the way we do, just why we respond, why we react. Like we don't even know where it's coming from. And so I provide the platform, and again, I have been doing it for years, where women can show up and unveil and unmask and take it off, just be naked, be who you are, and just share that truth, because that is the only way you're going to heal. And I often say, God can't heal what you hide. And so yes, that's what I've done, and that's the work that I've done. That's the work that I plan to continue to do, because it is important for us as women to heal, and we really don't know what that looks like, because we have been living unhealed for so long that we think it's normal.
And it's so true. And it's so true. And I love where you're going with your brand and how your brand matches your purpose, how your brand also matches your mission. And that is truly amazing. You're right. Many of us walk around here on like literally broken and I say suffering in silence, right? And it's so amazing that you do have a group that you can get into this community, and I look at it as an onion. Peel away the onion, and so we can get to the inside. Or I don't like when I'm eating an apple, I normally peel the skin off, right? So that's how we are at times. We got to peel away to get into the place where we can say, I need healing, I need deliverance, I need to speak, I need to open up my mouth and share, I want to release, I want to cry. So I'm glad that you have a group, a brand that allows women from all walks of life to be able to do so. So let's go deeper. Was there a specific moment when you think about you being nominated, or any project that you believe kind of really locked this nomination in for you with this degree?
Oh, that's a good question. I believe just being me, my authenticity and transparency solidified me. In this world, there are many carbon copies, everybody trying to be like someone other than themselves. As I stated, like God uses who you really are and not who you pretend to be. This nomination attracted me. It's like a magnet, like it came after me, because it's time for real people with real problems and a real message to change the world. Like if you're going to change the world, you have to change it with the truth. And this nomination will take me places I never thought I'll be. And I will enter rooms where I'm needed and wanted, and you see, like I said, God solidified me long before this nomination, However, this was just this will just allow me to be noticed by others who have pretended not to see me. Unfortunately, the world is attractive to titles and labels and status. They say use what you got to get what you want, right? And so people are attracted to those letters that they see in a person's name, before their name, after their name. I don't know, like we love status. Like we gravitate to status, and we kind of overlook, people, just that we would call just regular people, normal people. They not really noticed as much. But if you show up with certain letters and titles and accolades, and you have things, people tend to want to bring you in more. People tend to be more attracted to you, So I believe that this nomination for me, again, is just being me, being who I really am, just showing up in a world as my authentic self, and that's just, again, my opinion, and that's what solidified me for this nomination. And I think that just being who you are, the right people will attract you. Like I said, this nomination attracted me, and it attracted me because it was looking for someone who would show up and be exactly what this world need.
I love it. I love it. I love that. One of the things that I truly believe, timing is everything. God's timing is always the best. And even though we don't know what's tomorrow holds, long as you stay, like I say to people, stay in your lane in a way of what your purpose and plan and what the plan of God for your life is. Because when you move to something else and it's not God's plan, it won't work. You won't, things won't find you at or locate you as it should, because you're not in your lane, right? So I'm glad that you have stayed in your lane this whole time, where you're able to now attract what belongs to you, and that's what we call elevation, the next level. So this right here brings you to that next level. So when you think about, Monica, just like when how your journey has been, like when it comes to the empowering woman within your brand, I Am That Monica, outside of your brand, and you servicing your community, how has it shaped the person you are today?
These questions are good. These are some thought-provoking questions. It has really helped me to be more open and honest without shame or guilt. I realize how much of my life with helping women because of my honesty. I realize how much of my life was helping women because of my honesty, because I showed up, being, again, my authentic self. That's the only person I know to be. And I realize that so many people, like, sometimes you don't want to say certain things, you don't want to share certain things, you don't want to expose certain things about yourself. But that very thing that you are trying to conceal, that you are trying to hide, is what is helping so many women. Like, I get many inboxes and messages and just people saying, I needed that today. Like, you spoke the truth. You was in my lane. You was on my street. You was in my household. Like, I needed to hear that. Thank you. That has helped me. So knowing that me showing up, as my authentic self, even if people don't like it or people can't handle, the things that I may say out of my mouth, the things that my truth, it's my truth, it's my experience, it's what I went through, and I'm sharing that to help other women. Like, I think that has really, really helped me to just be this woman that I am today. It's my honesty. Empowering other women gives me strength that I didn't even know I had. It helps me to not only be bold in sharing my messages of hope, but to keep showing up to change one woman's life at a time. It has helped me heal and shed some of the weight I have been carrying around from the traumatic experiences I had in my childhood, that spilled over into my life growing up. So it's really is not only am I helping other people, but I am being helped and healed through my own messages as well.
Mm. Mm. I love it. I love it. And it's nothing like um turning the camera back on you or looking
Mm.
yourself in the mirror and seeing you. And I like that because change doesn't go begin on the outside of you. Change begin on the inside of you. So I'm glad to know that your message, your mission, your purpose has transformed you first so you can then purposefully serve your community.
Mm.
I appreciate you. Again, we are tuned in to Woman Emerge with Mellisa Lambert. It's always an honor and a privilege to come before you another Thursday. Happy Thursday, everyone. I have a special guest. She is known right now as Monica Williams, but very soon she will walk the stage on June the 14th. They're in the Decatur, Georgia area at the House of Hope in Atlanta, and she's going to walk the stage as a honorary doctor with her honorary doctorate in humanitarianism, Dr. Monica Williams. And we're so proud of you, Monica. I'm going to say soon to be Dr. Monica. We're so proud of you to know that you're going to get this accolade, and it's not to brag or to boast, but to definitely to give your roses while you're alive so you can smell it,
Mm.
you can taste it, you can feel it, you can know that, my work has not been in vain. So I'm glad that you're able to have that recognition and be able to use it in your future when it comes to building out your brand. So in this phase of us getting this process, getting this the certificate, what challenges or this I'm sorry, getting this nomination, I should say, what challenges did you face on the road to becoming recognized as a humanitarian, and how did you overcome any of these challenges?
Um, I'll say, I mean, I have faced many, many challenges and obstacles along the way of life, well before this, being recognized for this high honor. I feel like when you are trying to help others that honestly don't want to be helped, you internalize that thinking you are the problem, so that becomes a challenge, a barrier, and an obstacle, on this journey. I have faced, so many ups and downs and disappointments and rejection and being misunderstood and mistreated and talked about and overlooked, and I've been overwhelmed and overloaded and ignored, on this journey to this stage in my life, to this phase in my life. Like, I wanted to quit and throw in the towel, but God called me, and I chose to keep answering his call, you know, and trying to ignore the voices of the outside world, of the people who has nothing really to do with what God purposed me to do, So I tend to just keep choosing to answer the call. Every time he calls, I tend to just keep answering, even when I don't want to. I had to trust the one who assigned me to the task to keep helping me to get the job done. So that's how I have been able to overcome the challenges, leading up to being recognized for this degree. Not just
Wow.
the weeks or the months, but I'm talking about the years the years of just overcoming, challenges and just obstacles and just all the things that I named, disappointments, just so many things. Like, it didn't just start today. It didn't just start last week, last month. It's been decades of just overcoming, like feel like you're just constantly just jumping over hurdles, And so, so like I said, I just keep trusting the one who assigned me to this task to keep helping me to get the job that he's assigned me to help. He's going to help me to get the job done. So that's how I overcome.
And I love it. I love it because one of the things that I always tell people, when you put God first, all things will be added onto you. And just to hear that you are trusting in the one that assigned you. I've not heard that before. Many people are not trusting in the one that has assigned them. And that if you continue to do that, you are working and walking and doing the right thing and stepping in the right lane, because the one who assigned you will lead you, guide you, and keep you. And no man can curse you when God has blessed you. So I'm happy to hear just that alone. And as we continue this conversation, Dr. Monica Williams, H.C., how do you plan to use this honorary doctorate to further your mission, your brand, and expand your influence?
Well, I plan to do something that I've always wanted to do, that's always been, like I said, it's just passion after passion and purpose after purpose. Like, God doesn't show you it all at once. You just, like you said, you go from glory to glory to glory to glory. And so as I continue to grow, and as God continue to change me and evolve me, he shows me the next level, the next page of the book, so I'm constantly turning pages, in this book of life, right? So I plan to travel to more states and cities and countries where I am that Monica is needed. I want to spread my messages of hope and healing across the globe. I didn't go through all that I came through to keep it local. There are so many Monicas in the world waiting to hear from me. So a lot of times we want to stay safe, within our local community. It's safe, it's familiar, right? And we can just keep showing up. Sometimes we think that we can even do it without God, because we've become so accustomed to how it's done. And so we just keep showing up in the way we've always showed up. But it's going to take really stepping outside of yourself to really do something you've never done before, and that's going to take a lot of faith. That's going to take a lot of faith. And I know that I'm going to need that level of faith to step outside of my comfort, There are so many Monicas in the world. They waiting to hear from me. As I often say, which Monica are you? When I'm talking about my childhood sexual abuse and teenage pregnancy and being a high school dropout and toxic relationships and my 2 failed marriages and abuse and mother and daddy issues, low self-esteem, struggling with love and commitment, and so much more that I have experienced and endured throughout my life. There is a Monica out there waiting to hear not only my story of pain and trauma, but also my stories of triumph. And so I'm ready to take it wherever it needs to be. And I know it's just not in my local community. Sometimes we start doing things and we become so good at it because it has become familiar and habit. Some of the things that we do is habit. Like we can get up in the morning, get out the bed, get in the shower, bathe ourselves, brush our teeth, get dressed, and nobody has to show us how to do that. We've learned how to do it, and we just get better and better at doing it. But if we are asked to do something outside of that norm, it's going to take a level of faith that you didn't even know you had in you. It's going to take a level of strength you didn't even know you had in you, because you have been used to doing it the same way over and over and over again. And so it's almost called habit, and purpose has been drowned out and overpowered by habit and routines. And I don't want my purpose and passion to be drowned by and overshadowed by routines and habits.
Wow. I mean, and many of us are like that, where we're so routine, right? And we don't get to see what the world looks like across from the city or the state that we're in, or the country that we're in. We're so routine that we're not even understanding that God has set us apart to fulfill our mission and purpose, but it's not at a job, right? We're so routine that we don't understand the fullness of our us being on this earth is not to work it away, but to live out our God-given purpose. So I'm glad that you broke routine so you can now dive into and walk into and really, I say, run into your purpose. So I appreciate that about you, though, Dr. Monica, because I believe that things that we've gone through, without a test, there is no testimony. And you have listed some titles of what you have faced and what you have gone through, and many of us can relate. And I love how you mentioned there's a lot of Monica out there. That's why I like how you have your brand, I Am That Monica. And when you put that I am in front of your and then your name, I am that Mellisa, right? It doesn't have, Monica has so many part of you, and your brand a person can say, I can identify with that Monica. I can identify with that Monica. You have to know what your identity is, and what pain fuel you, and what purpose push you. And I'm glad that you have that understanding. So now that you have turned your pain into purpose, you can now walk it out and be able to help and guide people along the way. So as we continue with this conversation, I know you have a message in you, because you have a great brand behind you. What message do you hope this achievement sends to others, especially young ladies, young leaders, and future change makers?
I tell you, the message I have is very simple. That anything is possible. That it doesn't matter how your story starts, how it begins. What matters most is how it ends. It is possible as long as you stay in the race of life. That's my message. It is possible. God specializes in the things that are impossible for us, impossible for man, for humankind, for mankind. He specializes in what seems impossible. It doesn't seem achievable. It doesn't seem attainable. It doesn't seem like you can do it. And it's because you can't. There are some things you can do, and I tell people, do what you can and let God do what you can't. And there are some things in life that we are trying to do that only God can do. And we have to let go of what we can't do, and we just keep trying and failing and trying and failing, because you are in a lane that only God is expected to be in to drive this particular car for you. You trying to drive all the cars. And he said, I've given you that car to drive. This car belongs to me. We trying to drive the car he's given us, the car that he's supposed to drive. We trying to drive it all. And God said, do what you can. Let me do what you can't. That's my message. It is possible.
I mean, you said something. Do what you can. Say what? Do what you can, and let me do what you can't.
That's it.
I want you to repeat that again in your voice because
my God.
I want to jump out of my chair now. What did God say? He said, what now?
Do what you can. And I said, let God do what you can't. Stop trying to do what you can't do, what God didn't call you to do on your own, by yourself. There are some things he's given us the ability to do some things. Then there are some things God said, you are not going to be able to do this thing without me. But we're trying to do it without him. Do what you can and let God do what you can't.
I love it. Again, you are tuned in to Woman Emerge with Mellisa Lambert. It's always an honor and a privilege to come before you. And today we have fire on the line, y'all. Fire on the line. And that fire is through Dr. Monica Williams, H.C., who is receiving her honorary doctorate on June the 14th. There in the Atlanta, Georgia area, well, really Decatur, Georgia area. And I truly believe it's a well-deserved honorary in humanitarianism because she truly has served humanity over 2.5 decades on purpose. So as we close it in and we wrap up Dr. Monica, I want to ask you, because we want to kind of be able to continue to follow you on your journey. Are there any upcoming projects or collaboration you will be launching after graduation?
The work is never done. Every day I wake up and God allows me to have another breath of life. There's always something to be done. Even when sometimes you don't even know what it is, you know there's something to be done. But I do plan on writing another book called The Strength of a Woman. She is courageous and resilient because she is. You know, when you think of a woman and all that she is, there's so many moving parts to her. There's so many moving parts to her. Recognized and unrecognized, you know. We, you know, when I think about Adam and God said it's not good for man to be alone, and he created woman for her. Do you not know the strength of a woman? That God, when he looked at Adam, he said it's not good for man to be alone. He could have made him a best friend. He could have created him another animal. He could have created him more work to do, but he created us, woman. Let that settle in. You know, she is courageous and resilient. So that is something I plan to do. Another upcoming project. I recently had an event entitled "It's Time to Unmask the Mask." And we called it an experience that displayed women who show up publicly. They ain't the same women privately. And so we showed up masked by simply hearing, how are you? What's been going on? And immediately a mask was put on because now we were about to perform with the lies that we want people to believe, right? And so I feel like that experience, it is needed in every church, women's organization, and just across the world. And I want to spend some time moving that project forward. I want to take that experience where it's needed, and it is everywhere, because it's time for us to unmask the mask and live our honest lives. So that's what I want to work on moving forward. It is time. It is time for us to unmask the mask. Most of us in this world, we are just masked. And if we take it off, people would not even recognize who we are. That's why That's why God knew me before I was in the womb. He knew he needed a Monica to bring forth this type of work is not easy. When you are talking truth, when you are talking being authentic, when you are talking living your honest self, being your honest, living your honest life, that's not, it takes special people to do that, because most people are not living who they really are, not living in who they really are. There is no way that I can expect and minister messages of being your true self and being honest and being authentic if I'm living a lie. If I am living a lie. So when they say be the change you want to see, I had to be that change. And I am still going to show up and be that change. Project after project after project after collab after collab after collab. I am going to show up being the change that I want to see in this world of women, in the world period of people, but women especially.
I love it. Wow. The change that you want to see in women especially. I am excited for you, because I believe that the purpose that you live, I always say, you know what, it's good to know what you're called to do, because you won't waste time doing what you're supposed to do, right? And many people waste a lot of time because they don't know what their purpose is, right? They go through life. I remember you sharing, it took you a very long time to finally get to where you are, you know, in your, I think you said your early 50s, you was like, well, I think when you just turned 50, you was like, I finally got it, you know, but just imagine so many others don't even know and how to define and refine. You have your acronym. What is your acronym? Align, realign, for Sister Dar.
You talking about Dar? Yes. Detach, attach, and realign. Yes.
Yeah.
Detach.
Many people don't know how to
realign.
detach. That part. They don't know how to detach, attach, or realign to their purpose because they don't know. So
well,
that
that's
is
because
where
people. No, I was going to say that's because people, they stay attached to what they need to detach from, and then we detach from what we need to be attached to. And because of those things, we can't never realign to purpose. You know, because we are crisscrossing the two.
True. True. Crisscrossing the two. It's true. It's true. Oh, this is getting so deep, and I know we're about to close it in. And I want the audience to know, in what ways will this recognition that you're going to receive on June the 14th, your honorary doctorate in humanitarianism, in what way will this recognition elevate the work that you are doing in your organization, in your company, with your brand? I am that Monica.
I thought about this a while back when I was nominated for this honorary doctorate. Like, wow, like what's expected of me now? Like, oh my gosh, like now, you know, what does this really mean for me, for my brand, for my walk, for my talk, for my life? Like, what does this really mean now? You know, and for me, it will keep me accountable, grounded and held to a higher standard, really being set apart. Like, I'm not common as people think I am, as I think I am. People treat you like you common because they don't know who you really are. Sometimes you live your life like you common because you don't even know who you really are. So having this, this degree, it's going to keep me standing on top of what is next for me and not beneath the surface of my fears and uncertainties. We talk about elevation in our lives, but this recognition will help me manage and maintain the elevated status. It's like a physician, well, you can't show up at work and be the neurosurgeon today, but then when it's time to perform as a neurosurgeon again, you tired, you exhausted, and you don't want to do it. No, you have to stay as the neurosurgeon. And how does that look? How can you maintain that? Because people are expecting you to perform the surgery that's needed to help their lives become better. So you have to maintain that status at all times. What does that look like? My God.
What does that look like? It is a question. What does that look like? And then sometime, again, like you said, we have to stop and we need to ask. There's some time in life where I always believe that your day should not end without you asking certain questions. Your week should not end without you asking certain questions. Your month should not end. Your year should not end without knowing. Like, that's why, and I still do it to this day. Like, every single day I write in my focus book, and help me to remember. And it gives me that reminder of the things that I've done a week ago, 2 weeks ago, a month ago. And it also shows me where I am and the growth that I have. And that's what those questions will do for you. It gives you the idea, am I growing or am I stuck? Am I transforming or am I just, just being? Am I living or am I working? It's so important for us to really stop to ask, really stop to know, and really begin to understand the divine purpose that God has for us here. So as we finalize our closing up this beautiful moment, again, congratulations on receiving your honorary doctorate. We will both walk the stage on Saturday, June the 14th, and we're going to walk on the stage as Mellisa and Monica, and we will leave the stage as Dr. Monica, Dr. Mellisa H.C. So congratulations on this remarkable achievement, because it's truly well deserved.
My God, thank you so much. Thank you. Just every time you say it, it's like I'm in awe of it, because I was just sitting here and I was thinking, and I'm like, we can't be lazy anymore. Some of us have lazy passion and lazy faith and live a lazy life. We have been called. Yes, we are anointed. God has set us apart, but we're lazy. We have become lazy in it, and I don't want to be lazy anymore. I just don't want to be lazy, because when I hear you say, Dr. Monica, it's a different call. It's a different ring. It's a different, tone to it. You see what I'm saying? It's like giving birth. You carrying that baby, but once you give birth, now you have a different type of responsibility. to now raise and train and bring up that child. You have a different responsibility now, and that's how I feel when you say Dr. Monica. It's like I'm called to do something different now.
Yeah, and that's I like the way you're thinking, and that's why when people say again, "Oh, honorary doctorate, why are you getting an honorary doctorate? Why not? Don't be jealous that you don't have
not?
one.
Why?
Why not?
Not?
You know what I'm
And
saying?
anybody that says that to you is that's problematic. And I'm sorry. That's anybody that says that to you, Dr. Mellisa Lambert. They are problematic. No, I am so serious, because you are beyond deserving. You are boots on the ground. You really are. You pour into so many people, not just women, but people all around this world. You give of yourself. You give from an empty cup sometimes. You give from being depleted. You give from being tired. You give from being exhausted. You give from being penniless. You give what you don't have. And you have been doing it for years. And you are still showing up, giving. Why not? Why not? You are deserving of being honored, of being nominated, of being recognized, of being rewarded.
Now you brought me to tears.
My God,
okay?
don't get me to crying. I'm serious. I'm so serious. I'm serious. Like people don't realize what people do behind the scenes. You don't see all that people do behind the scenes. See, you just people so caught up on what they can see, but you don't know what you don't see. And that's why you think people are not deserving of certain things, because you don't see what you don't see. The sleepless nights, the late nights, being up, taking care of people, taking care of things. Sometimes, not being available for your family because you're so available for everybody else and their issues and their problems and all the stuff they have going on. Just showing up. Sometimes not even for yourself. Don't even, let's keep moving. Don't get me started.
Well, I appreciate you so much for saying that, because I am one person that, as many of you don't know, and some of you do know, I truly love to serve humanity on purpose. And I don't do it for money. I don't do it for fame. I don't do it for the love of just being recognized. I do it for God. I do it for the God. It is always good when someone can stop and say these beautiful things like you just shared, because they don't know Monica, and everything you said, I'm trying not to cry, but everything you said is truly what I do. Giving when I'm empty, giving when I'm tired, giving when I'm totally depleted. But I know that I'm serving you, so I come showing up in the best way I know how, with a smile. So thank you for recognizing who I am, for what I do, and for always allowing me to truly serve you, Dr. Monica Williams, H.C. on purpose.
My God.
Well, we're closing in. I need you to share with us, how can others support your vision as you step into this new season of honor, responsibility, and truly purpose?
I say, just believe in the dreams that I'm dreaming. Keep praying for me, that God's will for my life keeps me going, keeps me prospering, keeps me growing, evolving, changing, and that I keep trusting in the process. That's how you can support me. It's just keep believing in me. Keep believing in the dreams that I'm dreaming and living out loud.
Thank you. And where can they find you and follow you and connect back with you as well?
You can follow me. I'm on Facebook as Monica Williams. I'm also on Facebook as I Am That Monica. My email is info@IamThatMonica.com. My website is IamThatMonica.com. So those are ways that you can connect with me, reach out to me, and you will find me.
This was a very deep, and I'm trying to hold myself back from shouting, y'all, because it was that good. Thank you again all for tuning in. Please don't forget to follow me on my podcast here at womanemergeradio.com every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I, too, am on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. You can follow me on Facebook at Mellisa, Mellisas Lambert, as well as Lambert Legacy Financial. Don't forget, all this information will be in the description so you can reconnect and connect with Dr. Monica Williams, H.C. I am thankful again for your service, Dr. Monica, what you have done, what you are doing, and what you will continue to do, because I know greater is on the rise for you. I look forward to walking across the stage. I look forward to taking some pictures with you, laughing, crying, and being able to begin our journey together as humanitarian by going on different trips and, supporting our community, supporting our states, and going into countries and making a great impact. So thanks again for tuning in to Women Emerge with Mellisa Lambert. I know that this episode was great, because we had greatness on the line, y'all. So please do me a favor. Share it with someone you like, love, and even trust. Even your worst enemy needs to hear and understand and know who is Dr. Monica Williams. So until next time, everyone, please do me a favor. Take care, take charge, and continue to be great. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to Women Emerge with Mellisa Lambert, where Mellisa speaks with leaders, experts, and motivators who share their journeys and their stories through personal and professional growth, knowledgeable tips, and lessons learned that will empower you to grow. Follow Mellisa and Women Emerge Network on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at MELLISAS LAMBERT and at Women Emerge Network. And visit www.womenemergenetwork.com. Remember, when you know better, you can do better, especially when God is for you.